I want to begin with acknowledging something we often overlook. Clarity isn't just about what you say, it's about how you organize it. Whether you're writing an analysis, preparing a presentation, or simply trying to make sense of a large amount of material, structure is what gives your ideas form. Without it, even good content becomes hard to follow. In this lesson, we're going to explore how you can use NotebookLM to move from raw information to structured understanding. Let's assume you've already uploaded your materials and started collecting notes. Maybe you've summarized a few key arguments, compared perspectives across sources, and saved those insights. That's an excellent start. But as your notebook grows, clarity becomes a design issue. What you choose to emphasize, how you group ideas, and how you move from one point to the next, all of that affects how useful your notes will be when you return to them later. The first step in structuring information is grouping by theme or purpose. If you have notes on different aspects of the same topic, for example, various approaches to online education, you'll want to tag and title them accordingly. One note might focus on pedagogy, another on learner engagement, another on assessment tools. The clearer and more specific your titles are, the easier it will be to scan your list and find what you need. Avoid generic titles like summary or important. They may seem obvious at the moment, but they lose meaning as your collection grows. Next, consider the sequence. What comes first? What needs to be understood before something else makes sense? In NotebookLM, you can manually reorder notes by dragging them. This allows you to arrange your findings into a logical flow. For instance, you might place general definitions and background information at the top, followed by specific arguments, followed by counterpoints or critiques. If you're preparing a written output later, this order can serve as the backbone of your outline. Another technique that supports clarity is layering. Start with high-level summaries that give a broad view and place more detailed or technical notes underneath them, either as subnotes or in sequence. This mirrors the way most readers process information. They want to understand the overall point before diving into the specifics. You can reflect this structure in the way you title your notes, using consistent language or numbering like 1.1, Concept Overview 1.2, Supporting Studies 1.3, Challenges. Now, let's talk briefly about using visual tools to support structure. Let's go to NotebookLM. You can see that the mind map feature in NotebookLM can help you identify which ideas cluster together and which ones are standing alone. This isn't just decorative, it's diagnostic. If you notice one branch of the map is overloaded while another is empty, that might indicate an imbalance in your research or an area that needs more exploration. You can use the mind map to test whether your structure is coherent or if it's leaning too heavily on a single thread. Another tool that can reinforce structure is the briefing document option in Studio. Once you've organized your notes, you can use this feature to auto-generate a coherent summary. If the briefing doc feels disjointed or repetitive, it's often a sign that your notes need reordering or clearer titles. Think of the output not as the final word, but as a way to test the strength of your structure. If it reads smoothly, your notes are likely well organized. If it feels jumbled, it's time to revisit how you've grouped and labeled the content. Let me give you something practical to try. Open one of your notebooks and review your existing notes. Group them into 3 to 5 clear themes. Reorder them so they follow a logical flow, perhaps from foundational to advanced or from descriptive to analytical. Then generate a briefing document and see how it reads. Ask yourself, does this reflect the narrative I intended? Is anything missing? Are the ideas building on one another or sitting in isolation? Clarity doesn't emerge by accident. It's something we build through intentional structure. And in a tool like NotebookLM, where the AI can provide raw insight but not impose order, it's your job to bring that structure into being. So, to summarize, title your notes precisely, group them by theme, sequence them logically, and use both mind maps and document outputs to test the structure you've created. This will not only make your notebooks more navigable, it will also strengthen your own understanding of the material. In the next video, we will see how you can use NotebookLM for research and gathering information.